2023 has been such an incredible year for video game releases, the best year since 2017 in my opinion. We had a lot of heavy hitters, and just like with each and every year, I have barely played any of them. It's not that I don't want to play some of these games, it's just that my backlog is already overflowing as is. Alright, time to rank through all the games that I played in 2023. And I know I said in the poll that I put out that I would rank literally every game I played this year, but I'm gonna exclude single player games that I just replayed this year, and multiplayer games that I've been playing across several years that are no longer being actively supported with substantial new content. But I will be including games from previous years that I played for the first time in 2023. Quick shout out to the games that I dropped this year, which I will not be ranking because obviously I didn't finish them. Skyward Sword HD was a lot of fun until the game asks you to do a shitload of painful backtracking and tedious fetch quests that I quickly got tired of. Escape the Backrooms was a multiplayer survival horror game that had a lot of promise, but very quickly squandered it as it turned from fun to frustrating. And finally, I tried Outer Wilds this year and quickly lost interest. I promise I will go back and give it another shot sometime in the future, but for now, I just didn't have the patience to see what all the hype is about. Alright, let's get on with the actual ranking. I like Tetris. I'm just not good at it. Tetris Effect is Tetris, but trippy. It's got good music, cool visuals, and that classic Tetris gameplay with a little extra pizzazz. But at the end of the day, it's still just Tetris. I consider myself to be a pretty big fan of the roguelike genre, even if I haven't played too many of them just yet. Enter the Gungeon is one of my favorite games of all time, period, and Hades is definitely up there as well. Crab Champions, on the other hand, is not one that I could get nearly as much into. It's far too repetitive, with shockingly little enemy variety. But one thing this game has going for it is that it's got online multiplayer. I can definitely appreciate how excellent of a fighting game Guilty Gear Strive is, and I really did want to love it. The soundtrack alone got me interested. However, I've always sucked incredible ass at traditional fighting games. And let's be honest, fighting games just aren't fun if you consistently get steamrolled in them. Strive has definitely come the closest to getting me invested in a fighting game, but my motivation to continue playing completely evaporated when I, someone with almost 15 hours in the game, was demolished by my friend Sam, who had 0.
Use your fucking flash field.
This is working!
Azure Striker Gunvolt is a game that's been sitting in my backlog for far too long. I've had it in my Steam library for over a year now, and I only ever bought it per recommendation from a friend. I never really had much interest in it, and after rushing through the game, yeah, I really did not care for it that much. Sorry. Final boss was cool though.
Or make a yummy sandwich together?
Pokemon Violet is such a slap in the face to Pokemon fans. A buggy, unpolished, undercooked game that has no right being released in the state that it was by the highest grossing franchise of all time. That being said, I guess I still extracted some mild enjoyment from playing with friends. It's a terrible game that I still played for 30 hours. Despite having Kirby as my profile picture, I've only ever played 3 Kirby games. The original Kirby's Return to Dreamland was one of those 3, and while I had a good time with the original, this remake is pretty much the same thing with a little extra content. Still a great game, but not the most interesting for me to replay.
Where's everyone going? Bingo?
Oh boy, people are not gonna like what I say next. In recent years, I have become a massive Resident Evil fan. I've played through all the modern RE games and have loved them all, except 3, which I do like, but is obviously nowhere near as good as the others. So, in preparation for the Resident Evil 4 remake, I played the original Resident Evil 4. And I'm sorry, but the tank controls alone just ruined this game for me. I know it was revolutionary for its time, but in my opinion, it just hasn't aged all that well. Though I do at least love the character and personality this game has, especially with its portrayal of Leon.
Peter, the horse is here.
Oh yeah.
Fuck it, Fortnite is on the list. I played Fortnite a lot back when it was still new, and after having not touched the game for a long time, I decided to dabble in it here and there this year. It's still a fun game, but I don't think I'll ever be able to get as invested as I was back in its heyday. Oh, I see them, hold on. They're down here. You wanna snipe them? Or do you wanna join in on the fun?
Oh! Oh my god! Kevin!
I hit him for 37, good luck. Follow me, baby.
Man, fuck you. I'll see you at work.
I've always been far more invested in the sandbox element of the GTA games. So when I say that I played GTA 5 this year, I mean I played it online, with friends, basically only doing races and the sumo mode. It was still a lot of fun though.
The car's on fire!
It's the heater, Ginny. God damn, you're so dramatic.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Anyway, I'm gonna leave
You could've told me you want the barbecue.
Good luck, buddy. I have quite the history with the Xenoblade series, which I won't get into here. Overall, I liked the base game of Xenoblade Chronicles 3, which I played last year, despite my many flaws with it. And while I did also enjoy Future Redeemed, I have even more flaws with it than I do the base game. It's an overly grindy experience with a story that didn't quite grab me the same way Xenoblade 3's story eventually did. The fan service was neat, but not enough to make me truly fall in love. Last year, I played through Amori, and I walked away from it with an overwhelming sense of emptiness in the best way possible. Looking for a somewhat similar experience, I set my eyes on Ib, a much older RPG Maker game. The story is a lot more shallow, and the gameplay is pretty much just puzzle solving, but that doesn't take away from the fact that this is yet another solid but short horror game.
Yeah! The final lap!
I haven't gotten around to the F-Zero series yet, even though I have been mildly interested in it for a while. This year, I was finally able to dip my toes into the series with F-Zero 99. I had a lot of fun with it, but more than anything, it definitely got me much more interested in giving the series a proper shot with one of its core games. I'll probably give F-Zero GX a chance somewhere down the line. Lethal Company has become a surprise viral hit. It has absolutely exploded in popularity, and for good reason. However, before Lethal Company, the developer Zekas made some other horror games, and I cannot stress enough how incredible It Steals is. I played this game even before Lethal Company came out, and just visually, you can definitely draw some links between the two games. Make no mistake though, if you consider Lethal Company to be just scary, then It Steals goes a step further into absolutely terrifying. It's a short game with 5 distinct levels, each with a new spin on the relatively straightforward gameplay loop of just collecting orbs, but it's easily one of the greatest horror experiences I've ever had, and one of the few games that was able to truly scare me. Wow, I have not played Terraria since its inception, and it has changed drastically since I last played it all those years ago. I had a blast playing through it all over again with a friend. There's just so much to do in Terraria now. I honestly think it's surpassed Minecraft by leaps and bounds with how much survival mode actually has to offer.
Welcome to Mario Kart!
I have been playing Mario Kart 8 since it released in 2014, almost 10 years straight. The Booster Course Pass is a much needed addition for a game this old, and with a total of 96 tracks now, it's pretty much the ultimate package racing game.
I'm invisible.
And I got first after all of it? What?
The Fire Emblem.
The Fire Emblem?
Ever since Three Houses, I have been invested in the Fire Emblem series. I've played everything Awakening onwards. Engage is the first mainline Fire Emblem game that I was there for on release, and to be honest, I was pretty disappointed in it. The gameplay is pretty good, but normal difficulty is way too easy, and it kinda just ruined the first playthrough for me. And unlike with other Fire Emblem games, I just didn't feel all too compelled to replay it. And of course, the story of Engage is just complete dog shit. Overall, I did enjoy Engage, much like how I've enjoyed all Fire Emblem games that I've played, but it's far from my favorite.
Hello, Ghost, are you there? Can you hear me? What is your name? Oh shit, it's hunting me! Oh!
I started playing Phasmophobia with my friends this year, and to be perfectly honest, I thought I'd get bored of it pretty quickly considering the gameplay loop is pretty repetitive. Though surprisingly, I put well over 50 hours into it. I did eventually start to lose interest when the big update came out mid-year and kinda made the game worse for a while, and I especially lost all interest once Lethal Company came around. But a solid 60-hour investment is nothing to sneeze at.
We have to find the ghost room, so
How do we do that?
So we have to find a Rika first.
what the fuck is that?
Jesus, I'm walking out, I'm walking out.
I have been playing Splatoon 3 on and off all year. I'll have weeks where I play it non-stop, and other weeks where I don't touch it at all. While its core gameplay is still really fun, I'm pretty whelmed with its lackluster seasonal updates. They don't offer enough to keep me engaged for too long.
I wonder what Goombas taste like.
Goomba?
About a decade later, following the release of the last mainline New Super Mario Bros. Game, we finally have a 2D Mario game that actually evolved and changed the formula. Super Mario Bros. Wonder does a lot of things right, with refreshing gimmicks, solid feeling movement, and good level design, though I do wish it offered just a little more difficulty. Also, it's really weird to me that this game's theme is apparently music. Like, the core theme of the game is being hinted towards with some music-based levels, I guess, but It never really felt like it was the overarching identity of the game. I mean, Bowser's motivation for this game is to become like a worldwide renowned musician? Why does this game why does music become like the main theme of the game right at the end? It's been about the wonder of the flowers like affect the whole game, and then suddenly it's music based. I don't know.
Boy.
A little late to the party, but I finally played through God of War Ragnarok this year. I wasn't nearly as involved in the hype circle surrounding this game towards release as many other people were, but I was still pretty keen to get into it. I very much liked the 2018 game, and yeah, Ragnarok is just as good. Better in the gameplay department, though a little weaker in both the story and especially the pacing departments. Signalis is a top-down Resident Evil game in terms of its gameplay, so of course I had fun with it. The way Signalis handles horror through its constant build-up of suspense paired with an incredibly oppressing atmosphere is seriously extraordinary. There aren't any traditional jump scares to knock you out of your chair, rather, you always feel on edge with the enemy stalking just about every corridor or room you have to navigate through. And the puzzles are some of the best I've ever seen in any video game. As for this game's story, I don't know, to be honest. I really don't. I would be lying if I said I understood a single thing that's going on in this game.
No, I saw you close the door. I was like, oh, okay. We can do that. What is he doing?
Did you see the bird? It's like
Dude, it's spinning.
something.
What is going on? Oh my god.
I have already mentioned it many times throughout this ranking already, but yes, Lethal Company is awesome. I have been addicted to its basic, yet oddly captivating gameplay loop for a while now. The risk-reward factor of seeing just how much loot you can get away with before running into trouble is enticing as hell. And of course, this game is carried heavily by its social aspect. One of the most enjoyable co-op horror games I've ever played. Your turn.
What's happening? Oh!
I've already talked at length about Pizza Tower in its own dedicated video, which you should watch if you haven't already. In short, it's an amazing platformer that is enhanced tenfold by its replayability.
Where's everyone going? Bingo?
Resident Evil 4 is a remake of what is often considered by many as one of the best video games of all time. So yes, the remake is in fact phenomenal. And that's not even mentioning the fact that Separate Ways is also my favorite Resident Evil DLC, considering that it's literally just more of the standard gameplay loop, which is exactly what I want out of extra content. Also, please keep knife parries for future Resident Evil games, it's so fucking satisfying to pull off. Tears of the Kingdom is my unrivaled game of the year, as well as one of my favorite games of all time. I was hooked on this game for 2 weeks straight upon release, spending an unhealthy amount of time each day playing it. Every time I tried to proceed with the main objectives, I would get sidetracked for hours as I drifted through its staggering world. I knew I would fall in love with this game the moment it was announced back in 2019. A sequel to my favorite game of all time was destined to be just as remarkable. And with all that being said, Tears of the Kingdom is not only my favorite game of 2023, but it is also my most disappointing game of 2023, as well as my most disappointing game of all time. Funny how that works out, huh? Despite my endless love for this game and Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom misses the mark in so many areas that it's just impossible for me not to feel just a little bit let down by it. In 2024, I want to make a full, in-depth discussion video about my feelings on Tears of the Kingdom, because it's a game that I have such strong opinions on. I hope you'll be there for it. Thank you all for watching, and thank you for all your continued support throughout the year. At the very start of 2023, I had less than 30 subscribers, and by its end, I have well over 10,000. Thank you to everyone who subscribed, thank you to everyone who's been watching all my content since then, and hell, even if you've only watched just one of my videos, thank you as well. I appreciate it all a lot. I've got plenty of videos set up heading into 2024, so I hope to see you then. And if you're not already, consider subscribing, as a treat.